I talked about in my last video on releasing the upper spine is that one of the very few things that farm work and office work have in common is that they sort of make us roll our shoulders forward. So when I'm out there and I'm digging and planting, it's a lot of this kind of movement where I can get really strong in my chest and my arms, but there's not a whole lot going on for the upper back. So so without further ado, let me show you guys some everyday movements. Nothing to really I don't want to say these movements are easy. They're actually really hard, but they're not really complex. They're not pretzel poses. This is like really basic stuff that you could be doing on a daily basis, okay? So in the last video, I showed you guys how to release your upper back by using support, and that's part of the equation, but the other half of the equation is strength, okay? So remember that, yoga is the combination of stability and ease, right? Of strength and mobility. So you can't really have one without the other, okay? So first, I think it's always a good idea to open up a little bit, to do a little bit of support. I have a block. I do have a block. I don't know where this came from. Somebody came and left it here, but I happened to find a block. It's been chewed on by the dogs, but hey, it still works. So yeah, you can use a block, or you can use a rolled up towel, or whatever you have. And I am going to show you guys just super simple. You don't have to be really high up off the floor. But place the block right there at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and allow the shoulder blades to cascade over the block. You can take your hands behind your head to start and simply let your head drop back, yeah? So let's do a repeat of the spinal release that I showed you guys last month, but this time we're going to be using it as a warm-up for a strength move, okay? So stretch your arms out over your head, open up your palms, yeah? And now I want you to really bring your shoulder blades into your back as you bend your elbows, lift up your breastbone, yeah? And really try to tuck your shoulder blades in. And then go ahead and release, yeah? And again, here we go. Pull, pull, pull. It's a pulling motion. Tuck in those bottom tips of the shoulder blades. And release. Let's do that 4 more times. Pull, and a nice fluid movement, and you can release and pull and release. Get your lats involved. Yeah, really imagine your back fanning out, expanding the latissimus like big wings, and release. And 1 more time, and pull, 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 pull. Lift up the chest. Suck your shoulder blades into your back and release. Good. Okay. Second warm up, you just want to open up the iliopsoas here a little bit so you can just lift up and transfer your block down under your sacrum. So it shouldn't be under the butt, and you definitely don't want it here under the lumbar spine, okay? You want it right here. It should feel very comfortable. Just a nice little cushion there, yeah, for the sacrum, okay? Now we're going to just do a little fluid movement here to open up the front of the hip, which is also important for the movements I'm going to show you. So just extend your right leg up, flex your foot, and exhale, extend your heel away from you. And go ahead and drag in, stretch up, and exhale down. And this is just a really great movement, not just for the front of the hip, but for the entire front of the body. You can see how the entire front of my body just opens up. Yeah, let's take it with the breathing, yeah? So I'm going to inhale, extend, and exhale. Really push my heel away from me on the way down. That's it. And we'll do that 6 or 8 times on the other side. Extend and down. I think I did 6 on the right, so I'm going to do 6 on the left. You can do this as many times as you need. Yeah, sometimes I'll just do this like after a hard day in the field. Feels really good just to really open up the front of the body before doing anything else. This also makes a really nice break if you're writing at your computer because it gets the pelvis moving too. It gets some, some movement down here in the hips and the thighs, which I always find helps to stimulate my creativity as I'm writing. Yeah, is to get some movement down here in my hips. And then at the last one, just go ahead and extend both legs out and just alternately point and flex your feet about 6 times, yeah? Just
Extend and use your glutes, even though you're supported by your sacrum. Keep your glutes active. Keep squeezing your glutes. Good. And go ahead and walk yourself in. Push down into your heels. Use your glutes to lift yourself up off your block into a bridge pose. Take your block out from underneath you. And go ahead and lower. And then you just go ahead and turn to one side and bring yourself up. And let's transition here into an all fours position. And just to warm up the shoulders a little bit, go ahead and we'll take a little dog pose. So tuck your toes under, go ahead and press back. And let's go ahead and bend the elbows a little bit. Yeah, so when you bend your elbows, but instead of bending them out to the sides, try to squeeze them in towards the floor. Really press down into your finger pads, yeah? And I'm just doing this version of dog pose here just to warm up the muscles in my upper back a little bit to get them ready for where I'm about to go with this, yeah? And go ahead and lift your hips up high, yeah? Press your thigh bones back and really try to hug in those elbows. They're going to want to keep popping out to the sides. Turn the head a little bit side to side. Feels good to release that. Back of the neck. Okay, and then for your final couple breaths here, just go ahead and squeeze. Use your triceps. So bend your elbows even a little bit more. Try to touch them down towards the floor, and then squeeze. Extend your triceps to go ahead and straighten out your arms. Press yourself back as far as you can. Really get maximum length in the spine. Roll the sacrum, the tailbone down just a little tiny bit as you press your thigh bones back. Good. And then bring yourself forward into a plank. And bring yourself down to the floor. Okay, here we go. Okay, so again, you can't have mobility without strength or strength without mobility. Some people will think mistakenly that they can't move a certain muscle group because that muscle group is tight, so therefore it must be strong. We have this misconception that we think like tightness and strength somehow go together because, weightlifters tend to be like kind of tight, but really good weightlifters aren't. And it's entirely possible and often happens that muscles can be both tight and weak. So think on that. Okay, so enough talking. Here we go. So prop yourself up on your elbows just like you were. I've kind of got like a little bit of a forearm stance. Pinchamayurasana going on here with the arms. Got a nice square shape. This is Sphinx. And then just start to really pull your chest forward. You're not going anywhere, yeah? But I want you to think like you're an amphibious creature and you're pulling yourself out of the subterranean mire for the very first time. Yeah, it's like, oh, I just want to get out of the ocean. I just want to get out up onto this beach. And so I've got my little, primitive arm bones here pulling me forward. Pull, 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 pull. And relax. We're going to do that again. Here we go. So snake up. Draw the shoulder blades deep into the back. Pull your chest forward. Grip your finger pads into the floor. Press your toenails into the floor. Pull your breastbone forward. And release. And we're going to add on to this. Let's check in with our legs just for a second, okay? So go ahead and pick up one leg at a time. Really stretch the leg back. Yeah, pick up the other one. Stretch it back. And put the top of your foot really squarely on the floor. Spread out your 10 toes and try to grip the floor with your toenails, okay? Now here we go. One more time. Snake up. Shoulders, chest, head comes up last. And now we're going to play a little trick here. Squeeze your glutes to lift your legs. And now without dropping your chest, not one iota, stretch your arms back by your sides. Your chest might drop a little bit. That's just showing that your upper back muscles need a little bit of development, yeah? Holding here, and we're going to pulse, okay? So pulse the palms up towards the ceiling 10 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Bring your cheek down onto the floor. Yeah, let's Superman up fluidly 4 times. Here we go. So squeeze the glutes to lift the legs. Engage your entire posterior chain to lift. And exhale down. And inhale, stretch. And exhale down. Inhale, squeeze, upper back, glutes. Whole posterior chain. And down. Last one more time. Inhale, up. Bring the arms to the sides. And stretch them forward. This one is a little bit tougher. And cross your fingers and take your hands under your chin. And release. Take a few breaths here. You'll probably feel the heat radiating up and down your upper back right now, yeah? Okay, here's my favorite. This one strengthens the whole back body a whole lot. So we're going to go for a little dog paddle here, yeah? A little swim. So here you go. You've got your kickboard out in front of you. Inhale to lift up. Palms are on the kickboard, elbows up, and here we go, flutter. Keep your legs straight. Spread your toes. Use your glutes. Breathing in and out. Keep going. 3 more sets. One more. And hold, extend, lift, and release. Take a chaturanga. Float. Plank. And keep it here. Stretch the inner heels back. Again, just roll your sacrum down just a tiny bit towards your heels, but keep your hips up high. And take a little side stretch. Roll your heels over to the right. Look up under your left armpit. And roll the heels to the left. Take a peek up under the right armpit. And stretch it back. Okay, guys. There we go. Little mini series for the upper back. When you're feeling tight and weak after doing a lot of work at the desk, on the computer, or if you happen to work on a big farm, regenerative farm, growing cacao and planting trees like me, pushing wheelbarrows full around of lots of stuff, you might feel that, okay? And please don't hesitate to make a request. I just got a request in from Miriam Russ, one of our Patreons, to work on forearm stance in the middle of the floor. So I will definitely be showing work on that this month. And please send me in a request of what you need help with, what you'd like to see, what you'd like to learn, and how you would like to get fit off-grid with me.